Gang, what's up? Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. So we're going to show a little bit of Chrystia Freeland, just a bit. We don't need that much. It hasn't been that long. But then Mark Carney is just not answering these questions. And they're law ball questions. He's ridiculous. Let's take a peek.
Okay, good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day here on P.E.I. Thank you so much, Prime Minister. It is such a privilege to be here with you and our wonderful colleagues from the island, Atlantic Canada, and even a visitor from Quebec. Our new government is delivering on a core commitment to build one strong, united Canadian economy, and that includes making it easier to get around in Atlantic Canada. Today's announcement will bring real, measurable economic benefits and make life more affordable for businesses and families in this great community and across Atlantic Canada. This is about making life affordable for people here on P.E.I. and across Atlantic Canada and Quebec. And as the Prime Minister has just explained, this is about building one Canadian economy. This is about building Canada strong.
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
More than just elbows.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned internal trade. Well, we're only days away now from that August 1st deadline of a trade deal with the U.S. How likely...
Is that right?
You can update us on that. How likely
I was
is
more focused on the $50 to the $20 on the, yeah.
And we'll get to that,
Okay.
I promise. How likely is the deal by deadline? And what do you say to industry who are obviously anxious about this upcoming deadline?
Yeah, let me start with the second part of your question, which is industry, businesses, Canadians. Yeah, they are anxious and they are concerned. They don't deserve the uncertainty that's been thrust upon them. They don't like it. They like resolution. But they'd also like they want the right kind of resolution. They want a deal that makes sense for Canada, that makes sense for Canadian business, for Canadian workers. And the negotiations are at an intense phase. It's a complex negotiation. You see with the various trade deals that have been agreed by other jurisdictions, European Union yesterday, Japan before, Indonesia, etc., the United Kingdom, that there are many aspects to these negotiations. We're engaged in them, but the assurance for Canadian business, for Canadians, is we will only sign a deal that's the right deal, that's a good deal for Canada. We're representing Canada, we're standing up for Canada. The United States and Canada can do many good things together. We have done that in the past. We can do more in the future, but on fair terms for our country.
Can you also ask us what the price of this announcement is today, please?
Well, the simple answer to your question on the cost is the savings. The savings to Canadians over $100 million a year, and then those savings get reinvested, so the multiplier is that we end up net ahead, but use $100 million for the cost.
Next question.
Oh.
I think that it would be helpful for Canadians to know exactly what you would do when it comes to tariffs. So why are you being so reticent to talk about that?
Because I'm a good negotiator. I have negotiated a number of situations in the past. I know how to manage crises.
Morning, Prime Minister.
Morning.
Keith Doucette, Canadian Press. Just piggybacking off the last question, sorry. Is it your expectation that any deal that we may be near would be somewhere in the ballpark what we just seen with the Europeans, 15% across the board? Is that acceptable?
Well, look, we have some similarities with the European Union.
And as the most European of the non-European countries,
In terms of our commercial relationships with the United States, we're one of their most important trade partners. Number two, depending on how you measure it, both imports and exports. We, like the European Union, are one of the largest investors in the United States. Our companies, our pension funds, others invest heavily in the United States. Happy birthday! A few days short. A little bit. A few days short, but didn't have a chance to see you on the day. We are also partners in defense and security with the United States, as you saw with the agreements at NATO just last month.
The 5% of GDP figure, which is a
huge chunk.
Big number.
How much is it actually for you?
5% of our GDP would be about $150 billion.
I mean, that's a lot.
So there are similarities. There are differences. One is geographic proximity. Secondly is Europe. I'll give you one example of the difference. Europe, in that agreement yesterday, made commitments to buy American energy. Europe needs to fully get itself off Russian energy. So they're going to buy American energy to help them do that. America needs Canadian energy. You get a Canadian electricity. The only reason we run, they run a trade deficit with Canada in goods and commodities is because they import around 4 million barrels a day in Canadian energy, as well as that electricity and other. So we're in a different position. Similarities, there are differences, and that is why these negotiations, whether it's with our negotiations, which is all, where we're focused, but
Elbows up. Elbows up.
whether it's the other ones with Japan or European Union, they're different. They're different. They're tough negotiations, as they should be. As I say, we're standing up for Canada, Canadian interests. Of course, the United States is looking out. The President's looking out for the interests of American workers. There is a landing zone that's possible, but we have to get there, and we'll see what happens.
Does that landing zone include supply management in any way? Are you open to more U.S. access to the Canadian market for dairy?
We've been clear about supply management. We've been clear about language rights as things that are fundamental to our structure. The access, there was access negotiated, and as part of, as Minister Freeland knows, as part of the existing USMCA, as they would call it, CUSMA Accord. And the question is the effectiveness of those arrangements. So look, we're going to, as I say, we'll stand up for Canada's best interests. Yeah, Madame.
Hello, Colin McLean, Journal Pioneer, The Guardian, local newspapers.
Great.
You mentioned that this agreement's going to cost about $100 million.
Million, yeah.
Is that annually? How long is the agreement for? Can you tell me a bit more about that?
So just to give you context, the longer agreement of Confederation Bridge is that there's a lease arrangement for the operators. I'm sure you know it runs till 2032. So we put this in place for the 7 years to match the timeline to 2032. And then, at some point in advance of that, you don't wait till the last minute. The federal government, whether I'm there or not, the federal government will make a determination of what's next. But what's best for the island, for islanders, what's best for the Atlantic Canadian economy. And I think one of the things we're very clearly doing here is recognizing that all the transportation links are relevant. So you don't move one and not move the other. And so the cost, and to the point of the cost, is, look, you look at the cost, that's the immediate savings, no change in the number of cars and truck traffic. I think, candidly, we'd hope that we hope and would expect that we're going to see an increase because it's cheaper. It's particularly for the commercial traffic and people. I mean, you're already seeing. Sorry, Angelo, I keep calling them out, but it's a real live example that you got a family of 3 who are staying on the island for another day because you're cheap, but also because. No, but that's the point, and you start to see those dynamics as well. So. There's a cost, depending on how you look at it, there's a cost in terms of the reduction. If only we had a $50 tariff, we'd make more. But we'd have fewer people, and that's part of the point. Those links aren't there, and then we get more activity, so it gives more than it takes. Thanks.
Can you tell me a bit about the negotiations to get here? How receptive was Strait Crossing, Marine Atlantic?
It's just boom, done. Yeah, we worked through the federal government worked through, and we made the decision, the determination of what was right, and it's just straight. And look, they'll continue to operate and keep it up. They need to keep their side of the bargain, but straightforward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, they're good operators. Yeah.
Good morning, Maria Sarusi, TV News.
Morning.
The White House says it's not focused on Canada in its trade talks. So what is your government going to do to convince the U.S. of the importance of finding a resolution?
It's a negotiation. It's a negotiation. Take what's said in the public domain as part of that context.
If Canada can't reach a trade deal with the U.S. by Friday, what was the benefit of giving up revenue collection from the digital services tax so early?
I think well, first off, it's a hypothetical on a hypothetical. So we'll see where things land in terms of the negotiation. There are pros and cons of that tax, as there are with any tax. And taking the step has some advantages for us in terms of our economy, in terms of digital investment and others. So we'll see the benefit of that and move forward. And look, what we're doing, and today's about this, last week at the Council of the Federation was very much about this, is building our country, bringing it closer together. This is one real tangible example, but there are many more that are less immediately obvious. Changing regulations, changing certain aspects, prohibitions on people moving across the country to practice their trade, moving goods, etc. And then these big nation-building projects. I mean, one of the Premier and I were talking this morning, and one of the successes on the island is that demand for electricity is going up. It's partly because of economic activity. It's partly because of shifting to more efficient fuel sources like heat pumps and others. Well, okay, we have that, and then how do we integrate better the electricity systems in the region in order to help meet those growing demands? So I know that's it may seem like it's a long way from a trade discussion at the end of this week to that, but that's the real component of what we're doing, and what we're really spending the vast part of our time on is what we can control, and building the country together, bringing the country together, and then building out the country.
Merci tout le monde. That's the end of our press conference.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It's not like just about everything is creepy with this guy. Everything is creepy with this guy. Let me know if you have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments. Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe. This one Canadian economy, and we're all this team partnership when our ship is sinking. This guy, Mark Carney. Let me know what you think in the comments. Aaron, Canadian Looney. Like, share, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.